Hello everyone, I am Runu Yasmin. In that session today, we will be discussing about the physical or the mechanical weathering. So, what is the weathering process and what are the factors that are controlling the weathering process, especially the different processes of the chemical weathering we already had discussed in the previous video. If you haven't watched the video, then do watch. The link is given in the description box. So now let's start to this topic, that is the physical or the mechanical weathering. We know that weathering means the breaking down, the disintegration and the decomposition of rock. So what is the physical or the mechanical weathering? So the disintegration and the decomposition of rock due to the thrust action, the wind action, or the unloading of superincumbent force, or the temperature variation when a rock disintegrates and decomposes. This process is known as the physical or the mechanical weathering. Though the temperature variation is the key factor of the physical weathering, but the other factors that I already told you, that the unloading of the superincumbent pressure or the wind and thrust action also play a major role in that physical or the mechanical weathering. So the physical and the mechanical weathering ultimately leads to disintegration and the fragmentation of the rock, and it turns the big block into smaller particles. This process is known as the physical or the mechanical weathering. Now let's understand that is the key factor, that is the temperature variation. Due to the temperature variation, many processes of the physical or the mechanical weathering happens. So under that temperature variation, there are also found 5 major processes that I am going to discuss and what they are. Now let's start. The first one, that is the block disintegration process. So these block disintegration process are found in those regions where the temperature is high in the daytime, but at night the temperature is very low. This type of the region, or you can say the dry or the semi-arid region, we can see this process, the block disintegration process. So what happens in that process? Suppose that is my main rock or the parental rock. As I told you, in the daytime the temperature is very high. That's how this rock will absorb the temperature. After absorbing the temperature, this rock will expand in their size. But at night, we know the temperature becomes so less, so this heated rock cooled down in the night time because of the less temperature. After losing the temperature of this rock, it decreases in their size. And this process, the daytime and the nighttime change, happens regularly. So this continuously expansion and the contraction and the increases in their size, decreases in their size happens almost daily. So due to the expansion and the contraction process, it causes the tension and the stresses in the rock. And this tension and the stresses creates several parallel joints on the main rock, and along these parallel joints, this rock disintegrates and the broken part of the rock fall down in the slope under the impact of the gravity. This disintegration and the decomposition process is known as the block disintegration. Now have a look, the second, that is the granular disintegration. This granular disintegration process are also found in the arid or the semi-arid region. So we know that the rock are made by what? The minerals. So some rock are made by only one minerals, but most of the rock are made by different type of the minerals. So the rock that are made by the different types of the minerals, in that rock we can see the granular disintegration. So what happens is, in that granular disintegration, suppose that is my main rock that are made by different various type of the mineral, and each minerals are different from another according to their physical or the chemical properties. So some mineral can absorb the insulation so instantly. That's how after absorbing the insulation, it the granular disintegration. Is that clear? So now move on to the third that I have for you, that is the exfoliation. So the exfoliation process also happens due to the diurnal changes of the temperature. So this exfoliation process, also known as the onion weathering. This process refers to the peeling off the concentric shell of the rock. This is known as the exfoliation. So what happens is, in that process, suppose that is my rock, the parental rock over the ground, and each rocks have different concentric layer of the bed. Okay? As the upper bed is exposed to the environmental conditions, that's how this upper portion will absorb the insulation more than the other part or the center part. Okay? And after absorbing the temperature, this bed will expand more in their size. But as the central part of this rock are not exposed to the environmental condition, that's how this central part cannot expand, and at night this upper part cooled down easily because this outer portion are in contact with the environmental condition, the air, the temperature, but the central part are not. That's how, so because of the difference of absorbing and the losing of the temperature from the outer part to another part or the lower part, it causes the stresses and the tension over the rock. That's why this outer part start removing from the main rock. And the second layer exposed to the environmental condition, and this process also happens with that rock. And after that, this second layer also peeled off. Layer after layer, this process continue happens. Sheet after sheet of this rock start peeled off. And this process is known as the exfoliation process. And the granite rock are more subjected in exfoliation process. Now move on, the fourth that I have for you, that is the dart cracking. So what happens is, in the dart cracking process, suppose that is my main rock, but due to some causes, it created a pore space, and in that cracks, the minerals, the pebbles, the cable are deposited. As the temperature is extremely high in the daytime, this mineral will absorb this temperature. And after absorbing the temperature, these minerals expands in their size. And that's how it creates the fragmentation of the main rock from the two sides. Ultimately, this process leads to disintegrate the rock. This process is known as the dart cracking. Now move on, the last that I have for you, that is the boulder cleaving. So what is the boulder cleaving? Now this boulder cleaving refers to the disintegration and the fragmentation of the boulder due to the thermal expansion. Suppose that is my ground slope. There are found various boulders. Some boulders are exposed to the environmental condition, this portion and this portion. That's how this portion and this portion will absorb the temperature so instantly, and this portion will expand more after absorbing the temperature. But the underlying bed of this boulder cannot absorb the temperature in the same amount because these are underlying rock, these are not in contact with the environmental condition. So due to the different amount of the absorbing, it creates the tension and the stresses over the rock, and the upper portion will remove from this rock under the impact of the gravity. This boulder breaking process is known as the boulder cleaving. Now move on, the second factor of the physical or the mechanical weathering that I already told, that is the frost action. So the weathering due to the frost actions happens in the cold region. Okay. So what happens is, in that process, suppose that is my main rock, due to somehow it created pore space. Okay. And these pore space are filled with the water. become so less under the freezing point. That's how this water will turn into ice, filled with the ice. As the water, when turned into the ice, it increases in their size at around 10%. That's how it will increase in their size, and this ice will create the pressure of the main rock. But in the daytime, this ice will turn in the water because of the insulation, absorbing of the insulation. But at night, it again turns into the ice. This process happens continuously, and it will create a stresses and tension in the main rock. And ultimately, this process disintegrates and decomposes the main rock. This process of physical weathering is known as the weathering due to the frost action, and this process we can see only in the Collet region. Is that clear? So now move on the third and the last factors, that is the unloading of the pressure. So because of the unloading of superincumbent pressure from the rock causes the weathering process, and this process is known as the unloading weathering. And under the unloading weathering there are found two processes, that is the sheeting weathering and the spalling weathering. Now first understand what is the sheeting process. Suppose that is my main rock, and rocks have different types of beds, isn't it? And after some times, when the upper bed will remove from the main rock because of the wind action or the water action. So when this upper bed will remove from the main rock, this main rock will expand in their size. Because this upper bed was pressurized in the main rock, when this upper bed will remove, there is no any pressure of the main rock. That's how this rock will expand more. Okay? And this process causes several parallel joints, and along the parallel joints, these beds start removing continuously. This process is known as the sheeting process. Now move on to the second, that is the spalling process. What is the spalling process? The process of the spalling refers to the development of plenty rock fragments, loosened shape or irregular in the rocks due to the unloading of the superincumbent load. So this brings me to the end of the session today, and the biotic or the biochemical weathering we would be discussing in the next class. So till then, you take care, have a great day.